Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you. Wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Okay, so I'm gonna just clear my head real quick, right? Some of the stuff it is that's going on. I have a little bit of a headache. Part of it, right? It's because I had 2 cups of coffee and it really kicked in this morning. Like it was kind of settling in last night, but it really kicked in this morning. So I'm only having like a shot of coffee now, or double, triple shot of coffee right now. It's not just black coffee though. Is I put a little bit of creamer in it, right? No, cause what is given is the don't make me keep no motherfucking body in here. I'ma shoot 3 shots. Somebody done made me hot, right? But no, for real though, yeah. I was looking into a few different things, just scrolling or whatnot, and basically some of the stuff it was just to process it out was basically the positioning of parent, the positioning of a parent, and one of the things that came to me yesterday was. Mm, that came to me yesterday while I was just in the middle of conversation was I'm a damn good promoter. That's what it all boils down to. I'm a damn good promoter, and I'm a very encouraging person, and I'm an extremely enlightening person. So I was finding solace in that being something that I didn't acknowledge about myself. I didn't, and it wasn't because I didn't think I was worthy of it. It was just one of those, if you know, you know. When you know what your mission is, and you know the best way to achieve it, you just walk in it. And I was, within me doing that, I was like, yeah, I was getting flashes of, different people that I've helped. And the primary one it was that I assisted. I heard you could talk about Corey if you need to. I ain't gonna take offense to it. Oh, okay. Well, no, cause I did do a damn good job with Poetic Justice Open Mic. But what needs to be remembered is everything it was that happened in 3D after he completely disrespected me the last time, or not one of the last time, not the last time, but one of the times he was so very disrespectful to me. What had happened in regards to it was 1,400, and I want to say like 76 posts for his show, all while he was talking mess and all this other stuff. And it was like, you know what, I ain't even finna worry about it. It is what it is. I know this will help with taking care of everything for real on his part. And it does benefit me because I get to, show what I'm made of. And it also introduced, yeah, I heard it was your hard working efforts, not his. Yeah, I mean he did put on, he definitely can put on a good show. Obviously, he could put on a good show, but putting on a good show and putting on a truthful show and being honest and what it is that would be shown, those are three completely different categories. So there's that. Um, would I have been all right with us being friends? I thought we were friends. I think that's the part that keeps getting missed. I didn't. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I wasn't aware of the realness that came into place with frenemies. Like, period. Don't get me wrong, right? I know the detriments of it, but let me have my rose-colored glasses, okay? So I can do what needs to be done in a lot of different situations. Now, one of the other things that will correlate in regards to that is Pope Leo, right? Yeah, I saw the update that he had apologize for slavery. That's a great move in the right direction. That is a great move in the appropriate direction. I'm here for it. Okay, Pope Leo, me and you know, we may not see eye to eye completely on a lot of different things, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. Uh, yeah, because it's the first step in the America having to apologize. That was the first. That's what we needed. That's definitely what we needed. I have been having my own thoughts in regards to it though, because the way that people have been showing up for years, and I'm slowly seeing everything shift. I heard so that makes you feel better. It do make me feel better. It makes me feel so much better to see things shift and change, and those barriers, that the vulnerability that it's okay for you to care about another person. And sure, from everything I've noticed, the whole purpose of being a part of a group or a community of people is to ensure that that particular area is covered, right? Covered, protected, right? I heard you talking about with gang members. Yeah, because despite the detriment, right, that gets instituted through not only psychological warfare, but energetic warfare as well. The purpose behind it is to ensure that there is a network in case anything goes down or goes wrong. It's the same thing it was that used to happen with us in the tribalist uh, thoughts of being centered with Africa. And you have to think throughout slavery, that's how we held on to each other. And it wasn't necessarily just like a the natives, the people who were actually here first. And even with that, I don't think people really pay attention to the fact I heard they traveled from everywhere and were here already. They did, and because they didn't pass a paper bag test, basically, but the treatment was still instilled, to ensure the whole dominance and stuff. And this is before the whole Hitler situation that would have came into place with the tests and testing. It was yeah, because Hitler took a note from America on what they did with us. That's how he was able to implement his shit. And even with Napoleon, you know what I'm saying? He is. I think Napoleon is a Taurus too. Damn midget menaces. But the thing is not to get egotistical in a situation and to remain grounded and to recall, uh, what it is that would be best in every situation, and self preservation, right? Self preservation above all. And when it was all said and all done and said, the whole passing of the buck situation, I'm not real big on that. But what I will say is what took place. There was some spell work that had been done on me, and he had got sometimes real. Life can be a little messy, but with next gen new belt. But what ended up happening was um, he had told he had been really disrespectful to me, and I had had enough. This was some years ago when I was over on Facebook, and that's when I decided I was like, "Yep, I'm done with it. I'm done with this." Yeah, that's when I had initially made the choice. Now my choice was taken from me when spell work had been done, all because I took down, yeah, whatever the spell work it was that was done on the energetic side, that typically I would, post a whole lot and all this other shit to make sure his mental was okay because he was out of town. And with him being out of town and me knowing what his mental condition was, it's one of those he needs to know that it's okay for him to keep going, do whatever it is he has to do in order for him to, progress, ensure what it is to be a support system, right? And I'm gonna be real with y'all. I thought everybody was talking to him. I did. I did. I thought everybody from St. Louis was talking to him. The people that was around him, and it wasn't just the whole Facebook situation. I thought they were actually, talking to him and making sure that he was okay, like I was too. Obviously, that wasn't the case, but it wasn't appreciated. It wasn't really appreciated. Me stepping in front of with I had woke up in the middle of the night, and these two are directly correlated. And this is one of the, well, to answer the question, well, what signs were there? Yeah, because somebody asked that whether they were really angry when they asked it, or they were sick, or they were speaking from pain. I don't know. But when that question was, well, what were the signs? It was one of those. Well, one of the signs of who I was he was literally in the process of being hexed, and I wrote a poem to deflect it. Right, the angels all around. I want to say, something. Love is the love is lost. Let it be found. Something. Um, let him be lifted higher. Give him his heart's desires. Right now, here's the problem that came into place with that last part. His heart's desires. In that moment, he was pure and he was vulnerable. Right, but him utilizing it the way that it was utilized over time, knowing, yeah, and even in that regard, me knowing that, see, here's the deal that's funny, ironic about the situation. And for me, I laugh at irony and satire. I'm a straight theater kid, y'all. I'm a theater kid to the heart. You feel me? But what it was that happened in it was, when you recognize the type of assistance a person needs and what role it is you play in their life, you don't take that lightly. I didn't take that lightly, right? And when it was all said and done, it was very heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking for me to have to deal with that, because it was like, damn, if ain't nobody else really talking to you and making sure that you okay, what the fuck? Why are you treating me like that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Why you being weird with me? Yeah. It's one of those, why you being weird to me? Why you weird to me? And it wasn't even necessarily about the sexual aspect or anything. It's the emotional connection. And realistically, can you identify the deterioration in a friendship? Now, what ended up happening though was, I was promoting him in that regard, but I was also doing my own stuff at one point. And I was promoting everybody. I was promoting, St. Louis, period. And all of the different poetry shows. I was actually, yeah, I was really supporting or promoting the poetry shows and the thing, yeah, and things of that nature. So people could get back into the arts, because you have to think, uh, I was a school teacher and I was a music teacher actually when all this shit was going down. I was a music teacher at Hamilton Elementary, and it was a matter of, I heard the Luciferian concept. To be honest with you, I was in the process of studying demonology then too. So I guess you could look at it that way. But ultimately, yeah. As time progressed, and the other thing, yeah, because I recall that he has uh Libra and Mercury. I heard, damn, yeah, that's the reason why I know what I know. And when I heard certain stuff, I'd be like, Lord, no, these motherfuckers not. We not finna deal with this again. But ultimately, I heard stop motherfuckers at the gate. Yeah, actually, I stopped it a long time ago. They just don't want to accept that I stopped it and that I didn't need their permission to stop it. You can't, yeah, so there's that portion. But outside of it, though, her talk about whatever you need to. Okay. But ultimately, at the time when all of that stuff was going on, uh, people like me weren't really accepted. It's not even only about being a good person, but allowing, holding on to my uniqueness. That's one of the biggest things that came into place with this whole situation because I was doing cosplay and stuff at Fahrenheit, and for a minute it was good, but the part where it flipped, right, was okay. I had already seen the darkness in him based off of a poem that he did about suicide in 2012. That was very shortly after my mother passed. And heard you talking about the different encounters you had with people in the twin flame community. Yes, because there's, whether we like it or not, in the twin flame community, karmics and stuff do constitute as being a part of the community, and that was the reason why I had came up with the bright idea, me and my rose colored glasses, so to speak. But I like rose colored. It's really pretty. And be careful because even within there being rose colored glasses, there are black roses. So, you know, just just being mindful for that. Yeah, with the new beginnings and oh, somebody is studying. I like it. But yeah, with the whole rose colored glasses, it's one of those. Let me put this on and focus on what my mission is, right? And what ended up happening though was he had performed this piece on suicide, and it's like, okay, I can't talk to him just yet. I can't talk to him just yet. Let me go ahead and take a step back because I had to keep reminding myself of, what it is I was learning and the fact that I was in the teaching aspect and I knew I would have to work with a lot of different people. Yeah, because let me tell y'all, damn all that, let me tell y'all, yeah, I'll kick in it in a second. Let me tell y'all this part, right? When I was first presented, right? Yeah, because this will give some foundational um, thoughts, or not thoughts. It'll give a foundation or for the perspectives. So foundational perspective is the words I'm gonna use right now. But it gave that, or I'm giving that in regards to like with Fahrenheit, right? When I uh initially, right, started doing poetry, because I had been doing poetry for years, and then I got cool with a lot of other poets, and I was extended an opportunity, right, to have a show. And with that me being extended to having that show, Fahrenheit, it was supposedly based off of Chris Kaiser's word, right? Now, the reality of it is Chris Kaiser wasn't really confident in his performing. He was, yeah, or none of that. Now, this isn't me taking credit for it, but he wasn't confident in performing when I first met him. I heard it was like him paying you back, repaying the favor. Yeah, that's how I saw it. And then it was time for us to go, go our own little ways for a little second. Yeah, because had everything been handled better, I would have went on ahead, did everything it is I needed to do, and then I would have linked back up with them. Because here's the thing about friendships and things of that nature, you always want to be able to add value to that person's life. You don't want to be of detriment. And for me, boundaries have always been one of those things that is helpful to have them, especially in friendships, because that's a good way to protect them and yourself. And with me knowing what my gifts were, yeah, they knew all of this stuff was known about me here in St. Louis for fucking years. Okay? For years. So it wasn't no just springing up on nobody and oh my goodness, this, I didn't know. Yeah. No, because it's even been times when I was working in when I was working at like nursing homes and stuff, where I would get off, like they would start in the morning with the bullshit, y'all. This is what people have a tendency to forget. I'm getting off work early in the motherfucking morning when I was working the night shift. And they would just show up around me after following me and then be like, oh, she's a witch. Or they'll say something really disrespectful. And it's one of those, why was that necessary? Why was that called for? And it made me really start having a breakdown of what was going on outside of just Facebook, and how what it was that was stated on social media takes precedence and positions itself in your waking life. So it made me feel some type of way because I hadn't been on Facebook. I hadn't really been posting on Instagram a whole lot, and I really wasn't posting on YouTube. And I noticed, right? Yeah, because that was around right around the same time that I deleted all my old readings, because I had noticed that people were trying to, yeah, make me completely repeat what happened in a reading already. It's like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So, in any event, no, I didn't like the readings. When I first started doing readings, I would do that. It would be a prayer that I would say beforehand. But then out of nowhere, with all of the spell work and me, always I had already been in my north for I heard 8 9 years. Yeah, I had been in my north for like 8 or 9 years, and a lot of people weren't really accepting of it because of the experiences that they had had with others who are Geminis, right? I have a Gemini North and a Libra midheaven. So I do be teeter tottering in that Gemini and Libra essence a whole a whole lot, y'all. By the way, I will also say this. Shout out to Empress Bella. Thank you. I don't know if I was dreaming about you or what, but you helped me heal something that I knew I missed with my family. Uh, just the comfortability and being able to be vulnerable in my wind essence, and it not be taken, yeah, it not be taken personal. And that was definitely something that I had been working on, right? Because sometimes you just gotta say the shit just to get it out. Not even necessarily only because you mean it, but it's like, okay, I just gotta say it to get it out. And her spirit, right? It allowed that, and that was very rewarding for me. And I do see that as good karma for me, considering I do have one of those hearts where I want to uh, connect to those people who are like me, and they know I'm not trying to take advantage of them, and I know they not trying to take advantage of me. That we just doing our mission. It ain't nothing like having a comrade at arms. That's what that's about, and being an actual comrade. So there's that portion, and that's how I looked at a lot of the different situations. Like these are comrades. You know, these are people that I'll be working with. I just didn't. I didn't like the way it was that they intentionally decided to view me after I protected them from the other forces and other things that had been going on. That was the greatest betrayal. And to for there to be a pastor at the time who literally, y'all, I was working. I wasn't working as a music teacher at this time. I was actually working with as a building sub, and I was at Frable, but I was a building sub at Frable, and that's one thing that I was doing. Then I was also a model coordinator, right? And I was still performing poetry, right? And I didn't get paid for that model coordinating gig, like at all. Yes, I did. I got paid in disrespect. I got talked about so damn bad, all because people wouldn't do what I asked them to do with me. I don't care. Whatever you do with somebody else, that's y'all relationship. But with me, this is how I need you to treat me because this is how I treat me. And yeah, that John, I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Won't do it. But within me working as a model coordinator, he took me to church. Right after I deleted every post that I made. I didn't delete none of the posts that he made. I didn't break into his accounts. His accounts for social media and all this other shit, and take down his stuff and rearrange shit and be writing on his. I didn't do none of that. I simply took, since I was such a problem, I took the problem away. Let me take all my work back. Let me take my work back. I don't care if it wasn't acknowledged that I had did that much work. And he felt some type of way because people didn't show up to his show. And the pastor wanted to say that it was witchcraft. No, it wasn't witchcraft. It was called you gonna learn to respect me. You gonna learn to respect me. I don't care what the fuck organization you with. You gonna learn to respect me. And the way that it was mansplained was, well, he don't have after the service, during the service, that pastor, he he was like, we have a witch amongst us and all this. He kept talking about witch, and I'm looking like, okay, you could call me that if you want to. The whole time though, I'm seeing Gabriel in the rafters. Gabriel was there, Raphael was there, but I also saw Lucifer, Mammon, and Asmodeus. They were all in the same spaces. Now they were positioned in different areas. Shango, yeah, I saw Shango, and sure, when the church would have been blessed to pull people in, those would have been the symbols that would have come into place with it. Now, whether or not they knew that those were the symbols, simple. Okay, the symbols are not. I don't know, but that's what it was. Um, Masonry, I don't know, but what I do know is now because the Masonic Temple, that would have been when uh I was working at my children's school. When they were younger, they went to private school, so that would have been that. But ultimately though, uh, for him to do that because he was disrespectful to me, then he ran to go tell somebody else. And after service, John looks at me and he was like, "You got that little booty tap, didn't you?" And I was like, "No, not at all. I didn't take any offense to nothing that was said." And he was like, "I was like, yo, you could tell your pastor doesn't have. He's not very well versed though in anything. He doesn't know how to treat women." And the mansplaining of it was, well, he doesn't have daughters, he has sons. I said that he don't need to speak on women's issues because he has sons. He can't call a woman a witch just because she's as powerful as a man is and demands the same respect as a man would. Oh yeah, y'all messed up with that big time. And that's why it's like I can't help you. See, if just because another person don't remember, don't mean I don't remember. See, and where the problem and disconnect comes in, are you the disconnect that comes into place with it is with that whole little situation. Nobody ever actually spoke to me about what was happening. All those men in those positions of power felt like it was okay. And then at my uncle's church, right, they turned around and they wanted me to promote them and help them and yeah, try and confirm. And it was one of those, none of y'all even, they didn't even apologize. So I had to learn how to forgive and just listen to what Goddess tells me to do. And they told me not to help them. So don't say it's a forgiveness issue. Yeah, because that'd be the main thing that y'all, well, you didn't forget. I did forgive. And God whooped your ass right after I forgive. Right after I was like, you know what? I can't do it no more. Because if I would have put my hands on it, it would have been, yeah, I didn't, in short, I don't want to get my ass kicked. And besides, yeah, God Goddess was in a process of teaching me what part it is I play and how it is that I should utilize that skill we learn in school called deductive reasoning, how it's applied as an adult. So there was that portion. But yeah, after that, yeah, because when that happened, it let me know, yeah, I ain't going to be able to talk to you for too much longer. I ain't gonna be able to talk to you for too much longer. And then after that, yeah, then after that, and even within that, that's when the uptick for me kept coming to them doing a whole bunch of spell work on me. And each one of them knew that they was doing their own thing. We not finna sit up here and play that game. Each one of them already knew. They lying. They not that they didn't get that fucked up. Yeah, they like to play and act ignorant. They are not. They know exactly what it was because I talked about it so many times over the years. But ultimately, in addition to that, right, what I'll say on my part was no, because I seen it happen when I was working in modeling. I would post them pictures. Hell, John got his spot on fucking Fox too because of my connections. In short, they knew it was me. They knew who was, yeah, I wouldn't even necessarily say running the shit, but they knew who they help was. They just intentionally decided to say fuck you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, no thank you. You're not my type to quite a few different people, but it was like, all right. And I even posted it, right, years ago. And you can't keep asking for forgiveness for the same thing. That's just not intelligent. But so what ended up happening um, it taught me the lesson of if you have to if you're always in a position of having to teach somebody else how to treat you and they never pick up on it, you're not of value to them. And I sat with that for a really long time and then realized that, you know what, pull from that space of love that you have for humanity and for people, and more particular, I do. I love black men. I really, really do. But I don't like that foundation of it. And I had always stated that. And motherfuckers always felt like, oh, well, you know, I'll get a chance later on. It's like, no, no, you won't. No, thank you. And in addition to it, this is one of the manifestations of one of the shows he put on. Because, see, I paid attention to the illusions that come into place and the hypnosis techniques that comes into place with lights and lighting and all that other stuff. That's how I knew. No, but I had already paid attention to that kind of stuff from when I was fucking watching Dumbo as a child. 33, 44 when I said that. So, the higher knowing healing. When I was watching Dumbo as a child, I picked up on a lot of symbology and stuff like that. So it's that. Or even a movie Fantasia with Mickey Mouse. Yeah, right. But so in any event though, but and on the other side of it, yeah, I was taking care of my kids and making sure that they were well-rounded individuals. They had even come to the show to help me once, but by that time, yeah, they that group had already had their impact, and my show didn't even make it a year. Right? In short, they killed my baby. They killed that baby, and they couldn't kill this one. That's the problem that came into place with it. And yeah, and because they wanted me to grow theirs opposed to growing my own. And that's where the flip flop portion came in because at one point, yeah, At one point, he didn't mind me promoting at his space or none of that, but he didn't set himself apart enough from the other performers that he had on, supposed quote unquote performance he had on the show. And I was trying, whenever I would try to check on him, everybody, it would be a whole bunch of craziness. All right, do you love him still? Not for as a humanitarian, with him being a patient and me understanding that he's a patient, and there was a lot of stuff that needed to be worked through from all of the Virgo men it is that I've dealt with, whether that mean young men or them having them and having that in certain spaces. Did I learn a lot? Absolutely. Would I go back and do it again? Absolutely not. No. When I say no, I mean no. Not doing none of that shit over. It's not my problem. The blessing was you. I know. I'm aware of it. I was aware of it when it happened. And I'm not about to argue with you about whether or not I'm a blessing for you or not for a person. So there was that portion. And that's considered arrogant. It's one of those no, that's confidence in fact. Stop trying to demonize my confidence. Cause it's always been here. I'm not cocky, I'm confident. There's a difference. I'm not conceited, I'm convinced. And since I convinced myself, I don't really look outside myself a whole lot for it. And now that I am looking outside myself, it was one of those, so there are people who think like me about me. Cool. All right, I'm with my people. But yeah, ultimately though, yeah, he made and this is like years ago, more up to date with all of the extra fuckery and foolishness and games that was played. Ain't nobody got time for that. And mind you, is if I say his name that he gets a blessing or or whatever what have you. Where he said my name, he was cursing my name while I'm blessing his. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing it at all. And I've told this story several times, and people were very well aware of it to every capacity. Before before you stepped into your power, no, because before I had already stepped into my power when I spoke to them in 3D and assisted in 3D. That was me stepping into my power. That happened back in 2012, 2013. So I was already in my power. They just didn't want to acknowledge that I had any. But yeah, with Kaiser though, um, he, I seen, I initially seen a lot of stuff as okay, this is just the exchange that comes into place with entertainment business. You get some offers you want, some offers you don't, and that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. You can say no whenever you want to. But with that influence on the energetic side, it was like, you know what? We're not gonna play this game. Okay, I don't know who that is, but yeah. So there's that portion. The other thing is, over the course of these past couple of days, I've been feeling like hooks been taken out of me all along my right side. So I don't know what the fuck that was about. Yeah, because the irony of it being hooks in the right side and the it's a hand ritual. It's not a hand fasting though, like for commitment, but it's a hand ritual that's done to prepare a hand for to make sure that it only gives to this one person. Yeah, it was identified in the Necromonicon when like the first or second year of me doing light work and light work. I definitely want to say I identified it in the first year because that's when I got those cards. And the lady I got them from, she on Crystal Wizard, and her name is Chris. And she was like, I got a black, what they call it, black clock for this deck, and I was like, I don't need it, and I didn't because I knew it was something more to it. And I enjoy richer history. And when I'm reading the cards, and when you look at them, it's like they tell an actual story, which falls in line and alignment with not only the storytelling aspect and the expression aspect, but also with the fact that the second sight portion of it. So the cards will fall out just like how it is. Some situations will go on. When the storm gets too loud, you're the sun in my rain. Time you hold me down, it's like sun after rain. I've been lost in my ways. Can't. I'm gonna have to listen to that song because I do like that song. And I ain't trying to lose you. That's the promise I keep. You can tell when a person, and sure, you can tell when a person mean what they say and say what they mean. So there's that. Outside of that, though, yeah, I personally been understanding and appreciative, like in totality, of the different lessons I learned with that, and even within me being a mother, and actually being a real single mother. A lot of people don't understand it. Yeah, they was like glorifying it and loving the conversations and the messiness that would come with me saying stuff like, oh, I was a single, would be a single, I was raised by a single wife and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's like everybody love the messiness, but they don't like the cleanup, or they feel like they do just a little bit and that's supposed to classify as them helping with the cleanup. It's like, nah, you got a hell of a lot more work to do. Hell of a lot more work to do. And ultimately, though, what ended up happening with that whole situation was he stopped talking back. Like he stopped expressing himself back. He just started doing shit. At one point, he would, and then after the situation, yeah, because when I was working at Hamilton as a building sub, that following year is where he fucked up because he started employing, however it is, it was Omega, right? I remember that much about dude, to deliver messages or say the stuff right around me as if he was right there. That's where that initially started at my damn job. While he going off on fucking social media about me reaching out to see if he's okay, it's one of those, nigga, I never fucked you and we were cool. And I told you we were friends. What's going on with you? Are you having a psychotic break? Yeah, so it's one of those when you switch up on motherfucker and you don't even tell them. In short, I had seen both masks, so to speak, well before. Yeah, now, like all the way back in motherfucking 2017. I want to say 2017, 2018. And it was then that I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. And when it started manifesting in my daily life, that's when I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm finna get out of this, but I'm finna get out of this. And he was like, what you mean? Because he would get an attitude about it and do whatever he would do. And it was like, what you talking about? What you mean? It's like, I'm finna find a way to cut cords with you. I'm finding a way to cancel all this stuff. Because what we not finna do. I didn't show up to your job. I didn't show up to his job to start shit or cause a problem or a riot. I can't help the fact that other people are insecure about their gifts and talents. That's not my fault. Why would you even try to hold me accountable for their lack of maturity in this entire situation? But on the flip side of stuff, right, with me being a single mom, my children's dads, they barely wanted to pay child support. Mind you, again, I didn't know that they were like this when I laid down with them. This was a transition that came into place over time. And even when I would, for the analytical aspect of it, break it down mentally, it was one of those. I still couldn't find that pivotal point where it changed from me being their best friend to their biggest enemy. The only thing I could think of is when I said no, I wanted to go to school. I don't want to go to work at Jack in the Box every fucking day after just having a kid and being cut open from having that kid and having to walk down the motherfucking. Yes, I was staying on Arco and Kings Highway. And I would have to walk to work sometimes. Mind you, I just had a baby. My baby wasn't even 2 months old, and I had a cesarean section. I wasn't handled right. And when I went to adjust myself in this situation, and I needed his help, I asked him for help before all of the chaos went down. He told me he didn't want the big blow up, right? That senior always calls itself, her just say what you have to. The big blow up that he always claims as the reason for all of this shit was that I had left Tonk on the steps. And it was like, no, I asked you if you could watch him for me while I walked around. It was his day off. He had already been out and about with his homeboy Brandon. See, motherfuckers don't want to talk about this shit, and they think I forget. But he had already been out with his homeboy or whatnot, and he could go to clubs and stuff like that. And in short, he was just being an asshole. He was being an asshole. He didn't want to keep his eye on Tonk at all. And so what I did was I did take a position. I did make a power play and a power move. This is my child and it's yours too. And I need help right now because he was driving me fucking crazy. He left me in that fucking house all the damn time. Whenever I would go running or working out or exercising, this motherfucker was, yeah, he was going batshit crazy. And then he was so fucking, I guess you could say, diabolical and trying to compare who I was in high school as far as like my shape was concerned to who I was after I gave birth. After no, not only was it gave birth, after his child had to be cut from me. There was no empathy applied in any of this. And I said the same thing then that I say now. He was full of shit. He knew I hadn't cheated on him. He knew I hadn't done none of the shit it is that he claimed. He just wanted to be an asshole because he was used to getting his way by being an emotionally manipulative asshole. He did, but the thing of it was, he came down them steps and then he did get tongue. Now, every time afterward, yeah, in short, he didn't learn a lesson that when I say I need help, I need help. He didn't learn that lesson. Instead, he took that situation where he fumbled as a father and as a human fucking being. It's not about fatherhood. It's about him fumbling as a human fucking being and keep adding on to this shit and making excuses behind it. And I had to get away. I know he wasn't gonna hurt our kid, but with the way that he had been treating me, I knew he wouldn't. I knew he would hurt me. He had already hurt me, and that was the reason why I needed to get away from the space. I just needed to clear my own damn head. And having sex with him was not an option because he was not given. Yeah, he was not given someone to have sex with in those moments. So there was that. Um, how that translates up to current day, though. Yeah, with the situation, they weren't persons to be in. They weren't good business people. They didn't really. Yeah, they had like notoriety and name recognition, but they didn't have real authentic business practices, and they didn't honor the spirit of business. So there was that. But they didn't. Yeah, these motherfuckers. They didn't help. They didn't invest in me. I did this shit by myself. That be the reason why when I be seeing certain shit, when people be talking shit in the social media aspect, it's like a cease of several is required because you're over the age of 25 and you shouldn't depend on somebody else that much in order for your shit to pop when you don't eat. How you gonna fuck? How Jada don't even fuck with Jada? Is what I'll say in regards to that. She don't even fuck with herself. That's what I mean by it. She really, really don't. She don't do nothing it is that she's supposed to do for her business. I should see more about her business than her running her mouth about a relationship with somebody. Because that business is what's gonna feed them babies. That's why that's why I said no. I won't help her. I don't have nothing good to say about her. She needs to totally grow up. All right, thank you. You're welcome. Me even seeing it. That's why if ever, yeah, people gonna be feeling some type of way because every time I see a post from when they were together, I block whoever that person is. I don't need to. Yeah, I'm already doing what I'm supposed to do. So I don't need to see any other influences. I don't give a damn how many people you have on your platform. I'm blocking your ass. You hear me? But I know she's done this exact same thing with several other women. Now, because they were all a part of the same mindset, that shit worked. I'm not finna go there with her. And she needs my support. I don't need hers. That's the other part of it. And she, yeah, with this last little round of shit, yeah, she completely lost it. Like, it's no recovering in that regard. It's one of those, ma'am, you didn't pay attention to what your purpose was. None whatsoever. You feel like your purpose is being messy and all that? Great. I definitely can't deal with you, sweetie. To no capacity. And I be feeling sorry from time to time about because I didn't have to depend on no man to help me build light work ain't light work or to even help me take care of kids or even come and grab their kids. Because my kids had asked for their dads a lot and they didn't show up for them. They didn't show up for them until I had to force them and say, look, I need help. I said I need help. I don't give a damn what the fuck it is you got going on with this crazy chick. I need help. I heard you wasn't irresponsible about it either. No, I wasn't. I wasn't. $200 a month. You know, you want to know what this is about? With Senior and Heather and having to pay $200 a month in child support for children that he intentionally didn't want to see, and she did work on him so that he wouldn't, and he knew that she was doing work on him so that he wouldn't. But then turned around and got a whole attitude with me and played games with me and went and ran and told the church that it was me when it was really them. Come on now, it's craziness. Excuse me, but ultimately, yeah, I don't like that. I ain't like nothing that I seen. I was like, oh my God, girl, stop. Just stop. Just stop. I don't even know what kind of clothes you sell. I don't know nothing about none of that. There's no substance, and it was very annoying to even know. Yeah, because I didn't want to believe a lot of the stuff it was that I was saying was true. I was like, nah, you lying. No, it's not. Yeah, when I'm watching it, I was like, y'all lying. That is not. Whatever. Yeah, it's one of those. I'm just doing my mission. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Ain't nobody tripping that damn hard. And then I saw that they was. I was like, bitch, what? What? Why? What's wrong with it? Who did something to it? And realized that they did it to themselves. Because I ain't had to do nothing. All I did was, like I said, I canceled my contracts with them. That's me getting my lick back. I cancel your contract with me. Nope. No, thank you. I ain't helping you. We don't need each other in one another's lives because I still got some other work in regards to that though. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that out because anything that was pertaining to me or gotten off me, I need that back, bro. Need that back, broski. Let me get that up out you. Spiritual gangster. You hear me? And I did see the post with whoever it is that has the MJ thing on YouTube. And it was after my son had left. And yeah, because I know that he has his connections to different things, but I also know that it was work being done on him. That's the reason why I'll be like, when it comes to certain stuff, it was like, oh, okay, I'm going to see exactly what's going on and how it is it's manifest. And he had on a Monster shirt, right? The Monster, the energy drink, right? Yeah, in short, he's learned how to alchemicalize things and how to interpret messages it is that he will be receiving. Yeah, my kids have been awakened since they were little. Within the actual honing of it, that's something that they got to do on their own. I just help them when I know they need help on the energetic side, but I try to stay away, or not try to stay away. They have their independence, as they should. They're adults, and when they were teenagers they were in the decision making process, so I made sure I helped as much as I could with that. But even with that, it's a learning process and a learning curve that comes into place. Um, Outside of that, though, I ended up seeing that it was posted on YouTube from MJ, and when I was talking to my son, right, he was like, "All right, Michael Jackson," in one of my photos when I was wearing the blue and white, and I was like, he was like, "Okay, smooth criminal," and I was like, "Spiritual, spiritual gangster," and then I saw the picture of Michael Jackson, right? And he is okay. And I was like, oh, thank y'all. Yeah, y'all, I'm good. I just didn't want these motherfuckers around here to see me. Because I'm still working. Because I have a right to still be angry, and because I love me, and my anger is the one that defends me most. And it's different for me to get angry about me more, because I always get angry for others, right? But now that I get angry for me, it's a whole bunch of yeah, it's a whole lot different, whole lot different. So there's that portion. Um, but I saw that, and then yeah, no, I just seen that post with her the other just last night, and I was like, really, girl? So you ain't got no clothes? Cause that would have been the better way to acknowledge any of that. You ain't got no clothes. Do she sell clothes? Do she sell shoes? What, like, no, like, what does it do? What does it other than drama and chaos and all that other stuff? Yeah, because that's not good. I will say it does. I do want to meet the other one though. I heard why, because I think she might be cool. Like, I want to meet somebody who cool. I think she might be cool. Yeah, because here's the deal that comes into place. The whole purpose of me saying all that is with them being a representative in any community, right? If something happens, yeah, you need to know that you got somebody else there that you can call and be like, hey, I got this going on. Can you do woo 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 wah wah wah? Sure. Not, hey, not what it was that happened to me. Hey, I got this going on. I need your help, and they try and take your fucking kids just because you needed a little help based off of them already doing spells and shit on you so that you don't get what you need and so that you can't make it. No, I didn't cancel the contract with her because she hasn't been by. Yeah, like, I ain't even dreamed about her. Like, her name will come in my head every now and again, but it was one of those. Okay, well, maybe something's going on, with the little, and he need to. Yeah, he just processing some stuff out, right? Yeah, because I've not ever wanted to replace any other person. I just wanted to be accepted for me being me. That's all. But yeah, I think she'd be cool because I mean, little boys need strong women around them who know who they are because it helps them develop a relationship with their emotions and how to process their emotions. So it's like on the one hand, I'm looking forward to meeting, and on the other hand, it's one of those. I just heard the word all right. Okay, good. Thank you. Because that would tear that baby apart. It'll rip his little self up. It'll fuck up his mental and make him question a lot with that going on. I mean, give me a second, y'all. But yeah, in short, I was a damn good investment, and I know so because I did it. I invested in myself, and everybody who invests in me, they get blessed. I don't see hers being a good one. I don't, because you don't invest in product for real. You invest in that person, and within investing, you supporting whatever it is they got going on. Yeah, just make sure everybody okay. And yeah, that was some of what was supposed to go on. In short, it's the Virgo need to understand which reinforcement is best when you're in the higher knowing. Yeah, because some people, you'll be amazed how many people, with their whole positive reinforcement versus negative reinforcement, right? And when you positively reinforce negative behavior, is what that boils down to. Yeah, when you reward bad behavior, it's one of those. I just heard you wasn't. I wasn't always like this. You a damn lie. From what I seen, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Nope, nope. I can still hear them, but I ain't gotta do shit for them, and I don't have a contract with them. That's one of the other gifts it is that I have. So I can hear it, but it's one of those. No, no, thank you. No, thank you. And if you get fucked up, yeah, when a person get fucked up, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. You'll be fine. I guarantee you will. Better redirect that damn mouth to something useful. Yeah, and the fact that she takes it out on him because she can't get rid of other. I just heard thank you. Oh, okay. One of the things I will also say though, with what it is I noticed, yeah, yeah, Aisha, her is cool. Say what you have to. No, I like her thighs. I do. I did see a picture of her. I did see a picture of her. Yes, and I was like, okay, girl, okay, you cute. Yeah, and she was presenting herself very well. I was like, oh, okay, she cute. I fuck with it. And it wasn't for the measure aspect. It was just the way that she carried herself. Period. So yeah, yeah, she would be a person I would be interested in getting to know. And on top of that, it would be the whole oh God, her say what you have to, it's all right. First Wives Club and different lessons that can be exchanged in regards to that. Because I've been in that position and seen what can happen on all of them. And it's the whole community of mothers, what it is to be a mom and to take care of your responsibilities and things of that nature. Why? Okay, so Maya is coming to me when I'm talking about this right now from girlfriends and how she had her son and she was going to school and all this other stuff. I heard that's when I was the problem. Probably. I don't doubt it. But still, nonetheless, you know, I I just, in short, if you know the stories that are associated with one of the major deities I'm connected to, as well as some of the angels I'm connected to, uh, especially, you know, there's the destroyer aspect, but there's also the builder aspect or the nurturing aspect. There's that duality. And wherever I can help with those situations, I'm glad to help. I'm glad to help. And it'll be nice. I'll be so serious. Yeah, cuz it's nice. It feels good when I help people that are like me. And any, yeah, where we have commonalities, it's one of those, how can I help you? What can I do? What you need help with? Just, and it's not for the acceptance aspect, but that's because that's just the type of spirit I have. And yeah, since I don't see her a lot, and I haven't stalked her or nothing like that, but even with that, it's one of those, since I don't, yeah, just want to make sure she okay, if for no other reason because of the appreciation I have for the children, and I know the mental that can come into place with it when there's that kind of arguing and stuff and infighting. And I don't infight. I destroy shit. So yeah. But all right, y'all. Yeah. That's enough. I just hope everybody okay. I really do. And mental checks. Make sure y'all got a mental health. Checking in on y'all mental health. And one of the greatest things, especially if you're intuitive or you practice in capacity, when something comes to you a whole lot, like for me, the way it comes out is through tarot and having visions and all these other things. But when it manifests for you and you can identify it, see where, see what it would be indicating. But yeah, like mugs, y'all. I just heard, are you nervous? A little bit. Not for what you think though. Not, it's not even necessarily about the acceptance or the rejection aspect. It's more so the matter of how things would be anchored, as far as her setting up schedules and things of that nature. Yeah, yeah. And I also like to say, to close in regards to this, um, the inclination to pray for a helpmate is what that boils down to, and what it means for a person to have and be an actual helpmate. Yeah, in that counterpart aspect. Um, all right. Well, hope everybody has a good rest of their day. It looks like it's gonna be nice out. I'm glad I got that out. I heard you don't want no harm to come to nobody. I don't. It's too many people. Yeah, like, okay, before I close this out and seal it and lock it in for just this essence for these thoughts, uh, you can ask Mahi's. He will tell you I cry like a whole baby when I heard about, like, I've seen it went from 15 gun related deaths to 33. And it just, yeah, when I tell you that shit made me cry, I was crying like a little punk ass, okay? Often. Because it in a lot of instances it would explain certain visions it is that I would have. And if you have visions too, you'll understand this. It's one of those, was I given this vision so that I could tell someone? And if I tell someone that I had it in a vision, will they believe me? And that comes through the whole aspect of whether or not you can effectively communicate how that what it was that you saw in your mind's eye came into fruition with what it is that was going on with how it translates into 3D. So, but yeah, I just hope everybody is all right. I really, really do. I really do. Her mirroring the pain of somebody else. All I got to do is look at a picture and see it. That's the reason why I don't even want to see it. Because you can see, I can see it, feel it, and absorb all of this shit. I'll call myself looking out for motherfuckers even then, with letting them know, hold on, sweetheart, you got some shit going on with your pictures. You need to look at this. Yeah, whatever it is you got going on, you need to ground yourself, whatever have you, because it's showing up. It's showing up in the pictures. So yeah, I'm going ahead and close this out. Finish drinking my coffee. Right, it's Saturday. It's Saturday, y'all. Friday part 2. All right, light and love to y'all. Okay, and I'm gonna close and seal and lock in this reading and these thoughts, and hopefully they help you in the manner in which it's intended.